Hello, everyone, and this is Texas Sports TV. And obviously, the Texans are part of Texas Sports, so I'm going to be talking about their draft picks. Now, the Texans in round one picked 23, the 23rd overall pick. The Texans were planning on getting Andre Dillard, but the Eagles kind of leapfrogged the Texans and kind of took him. So the Houston had to look at whatever was left. So they looked at what was left and still were looking at an old lineman, and they still took an old lineman, which was very, very smart because that's what we need. And with the Texans, we need an offensive lineman. Now, we took offensive tackle Titus Howard, which the tackle is really the big position we need help with. All right. We signed a whole lot of people in the offseason for the offensive line, except for the offensive tackle. So, yeah, I have read that he needs some help with technique, and that there are still better options like Jawan Taylor and Cody Ford, but you know what? We got an offensive tackle. I'm happy. Now, in round two, with pick 22, which was the 54th overall pick, well, the offensive line isn't the only spot where we need help. The Texans, they had problems with the secondary. The secondary was pretty bad despite having some big names. Drafting a cornerback seemed like an obvious choice. They chose Lonnie Johnson, and from what I read, he has some raw talent, and he can play in safety help, which they say even if he doesn't end up doing really well right away, he would still be useful. Now, with still in round two, pick 23, we had back-to-back picks in round two. The 55th overall pick, the Texans did another smart move. They went right back to offensive tackle. They drafted another one in Max Sharping, which people see as more of an insurance policy to help with the offensive line, which is very smart because the offensive line was really bad last year, giving up as many sacks as they did. Not all of it. Some of it was because of Deshaun Watson, but still, it was way too many. Now, yeah, this definitely boosts the Texans' playoff chance and boosts their ability to play well in the playoffs. Okay? Now, in round three, pick 22, the 86th overall pick. Tight end really wasn't a much needed position. And, with the fact that they drafted 2 tight ends last year and still have Griffin for another year, it really seemed like we were good for the year, The Texans seem to be looking for long term. That's what people are rationalizing. That's what I'm rationalizing. So, with this pick, I personally probably would have waited another year if we were to get another tight end, because like I said, we drafted 2 last year, and we still have Robert Griffin. So whatever. They drafted Kahale Warring with a 86th overall pick. We had no picks in round 4, but in round 5, we had pick 23, which was the 161st overall pick. Now, defensive end really wasn't a much needed position, just like tight end but it's another look to the future. It's another long-term looking at a future type thing. And this really was a very good year for defense. A very good year for defense and an exceptional year for defensive end. And, J.J. Watt, he is one of the greatest defensive ends of all time. He's the greatest defensive end Texans have ever had and probably will ever have. But he won't be around forever. One day he will be gone. He will retire. So it is good to have young defensive ends, either right end or left end, to work with Watt as we work to find not only a great player, but a great leader on defense to replace him. And the Texans got Charles Omenihu. which honestly helps that this guy is from Texas. Now, in round 6, we got pick number 22, which was the 195th overall pick. Now, we are back to positions with great need, which is with the secondary. The Texans got another cornerback in Xavier Crawford. This ain't X-Men. Okay, so he will hopefully help us in the playoffs. This is good. We're getting secondary positions. This is what we need. This is what I hope we will do. Get offensive linemen and secondary people in the draft, which is what we did. And hopefully he will be of great help. Now, round 7, we got pick 6 with the 220th overall pick. I'm not exactly sure who all was left, but man, if we could have gotten anything that wasn't a fullback, come on, we got Golan Gillespie, but I can't even really rationalize this pick. We should have. I'm sure we could. There were like any other position could have been helpful. I guess we don't need wide receiver, but I guess running back position, maybe another lineman if there's any left. Defensive secondary player if there were any left. Like, come on, why fullback? Why? I can kind of see tight end. I can see defensive end, despite them not being needed positions. Long-term solutions. Fullback. I don't really see. I guess it's just me though, but I guess whatever. And well, this is my take on the NFL draft. We got 2 offensive tackles. We got 2 secondary cornerbacks. We got 1 tight end, 1 defensive end, and 1 useless fullback. Okay. Which person do you think will help the Texans the most? Who do you think will help the Texans the most? Which pick do you think was the smartest pick, and which pick do you think is the worst? I guess anyone that's watching, just leave your opinions on it down below.